무슨 짓 하는지도 몰라.
나 소원 하나만 들어주라. 졸업식 전에 꼭 돌아올게.
기다려. 이젠 내가
가! 얼른 가, 성아야!
The demonic spirit only realized the disaster it had caused upon hearing Park Seong A's heart-wrenching cries. Terrified, it muttered to itself, "Don't blame him, he just wanted to survive." Grief-stricken Yeonhwa burst into the room, seeking revenge on the demon for her mother's death, but it had already vanished. When she tried to go after it, Park Seong A blocked her path. Park Seong A hated her for causing her mother's death, yet she had to follow her mother's last wish to always help Yeonhwa. Furious, she declared, "Mother was the demon's 100th victim. Now it has become a demon god. Even so, I must protect you." To prevent her from dying, Park Seong A ordered the Flower Lord to tie Yeonhwa up. Yeonhwa screamed for the Flower Lord to release her, claiming Park Seong A didn't understand the situation. If a demon god possesses its host, disaster will follow until the host dies, she insisted. The Flower Lord sorrowfully told her, Park Seong A already knew this. Meanwhile, before anyone else, GyeonWoo dreamed of a student soldier who admitted, "I'm not a good person," and pulled the trigger on him. Before anyone else, GyeonWoo jolted awake to find himself in an unfamiliar park. Just as he wondered where he was, Park Seong A suddenly appeared. She didn't answer his questions about the location or whether this was a dream, but simply took his hand on a date. They took photos, prayed, and blew bubbles together, their time sweet and joyful. Before anyone else, GyeonWoo couldn't help but ask about the demon's whereabouts. He no longer sensed its presence. Park Seong A said it had gone. They sat on a bench. She confessed that before anyone else, GyeonWoo was her first love and gave him her first kiss. "I'll return before graduation," she promised. Afterward, Park Seong A placed the sleeping before anyone else GyeonWoo on the bench, summoned the demon from his body, and left with it. Recalling her mother's teachings since childhood, she vowed to walk the right path and protect everyone. When before anyone else GyeonWoo woke up, he vividly remembered Park Seong A's promise to return before the graduation ceremony. He frantically searched for her but found nothing. Soon, before anyone else, GyeonWoo and POGHO entered their senior year. Without Park Seong A, before anyone else, GyeonWoo seemed to do well. He won medal after medal. At first, his coach laughed happily, but soon grew worried. Now, before anyone else, GyeonWoo had become a lifeless robot, showing no emotions. Before anyone else, GyeonWoo brought flowers to visit a female classmate injured in a fire. He already knew she had started the fire, but she was his first friend. He still blamed himself for bringing her misfortune. Park Seong A had taught him he deserved happiness. With these flowers, he hoped to let go of his guilt. On graduation day, Park Seong A did not appear as promised. A classmate who had once been possessed by a prince ghost took graduation photos of before anyone else, GyeonWoo and POGHO. They stood on either side, leaving the middle empty for Park Seong A. Graduation was Park Seong A's dream, and no one had forgotten her. After the ceremony, before anyone else, GyeonWoo went to the shrine. Yeonhwa said the gods had left, and the shrine would decay. This meant Park Seong A's guardian had abandoned her. If she died, she would appear in their dreams in white to say goodbye. But since they hadn't seen her, she must still be alive. The demon would surely use her to cause trouble. They had to find her before she harmed others. Yeonhwa opened a box, took out a knife, then put it back. She said she would find another way to deal with Park Seong A. Before anyone else, GyeonWoo saw a bow and arrows in the box. He took the bow, threatening the Flower Lord to draw charms for him. He would use the bow and charms to fight ghosts until he found Park Seong A. But he didn't realize he had fallen into Yeonhwa's trap. Yeonhwa had deliberately made him find the bow and had the Flower Lord prepare the charms for him in advance. For over a year, Yeonhwa had been relentlessly searching for Park Seong A. Park Seong A, possessed by the demon, had been doing evil deeds. Every time Yeonhwa tracked her down, Park Seong A would escape. Before anyone else, GyeonWoo, who had once been possessed by the demon, still carried its lingering aura. He could see ghosts and communicate with them. Yeonhwa planned to use him to find Park Seong A. She couldn't let him know, because to destroy the demon, Park Seong A had to die. Before anyone else, GyeonWoo became a ghost hunter, eliminating evil spirits one by one. He captured a faceless ghost, placed a charm on its face, and made it his servant. He ordered it to find Park Seong A. Soon, the faceless ghost returned with news. Before anyone else, GyeonWoo immediately set off. What he didn't see was Yeonhwa suddenly appearing after he left. She placed a new charm on the ghost and forced it to reveal what it had told him. Meanwhile, Park Seong A was praying for the 100 souls consumed by the demon. Yeomhwa reached her first, claiming her death would end the suffering. Park Seong A's eyes flashed red as the demon took control. Yeomhwa raised her magic hammer to strike, but before anyone else ChooYoungWoo arrived just in time to stop her. Before anyone else ChooYoungWoo shouted for Park Seong A to run. Yeomhwa scolded him, saying he had just missed the only chance to kill the demon. Next time Park Seong A appeared, she would come to kill him. If he saw her, he must run. It was his only chance to survive. 2 years later, before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo became a national archer. In an interview, he shared his dream of reuniting with his first love. He looked into the camera and confessed his longing for Park Seong A. Pyo Ji-ho moved into before anyone else ChooYoungWoo's home, where the three had once laughed together. But Park Seong A still hadn't appeared in 2 years. Before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo went to Park Seong A's house after receiving a call. Her blind mentor had passed away, still praying for him and Park Seong A until her last breath. Holding Park Seong A's lipstick, before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo hoped she was still alive. As he left, Yeomhwa confronted him. She asked if he dreamed of Park Seong A. He lied and said no. In truth, he kept having the same dream. In a classroom without a number, his dream showed Park Seong A's desk and belongings. He sat in her seat, seeing everything from her perspective. He wondered if he had entered her dream, but she wasn't there. Only the drawing on the blackboard felt familiar. After leaving, Park Seong A and the demon emerged from a hidden locker. The demon suggested she meet before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo, in his dreams. Park Seong A hesitated, fearing it might endanger him. Just dreaming of her lover was enough for her. Before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo woke up again, studying the dream scene. Suddenly, he recognized it as the Flower Lord's shrine. He rushed there, only to find the demon-controlled Park Seong A inside. Now, she wasn't gentle like before. She acted like a rebellious delinquent. When she heard before anyone else ChooYoungWoo knocking, the Flower Lord told her to hide in the locker. Before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo told the Flower Lord he could enter Park Seong A's dreams, feeling her presence nearby. The demon, nearly suffocating, burst out of the locker. Park Seong A kicked him out of the room. The demon ran to the beach, with before anyone else ChooYoungWoo chasing after. Before he could catch it, the demon kissed him forcefully. After pulling away, it recoiled in disgust. "Don't mistake me for Park Seong A," it said. Before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo brought the spirit home. Pyo Ji-ho mistook it for Park Seong A and was too excited to speak. The next moment, the spirit grabbed Pyo Ji-ho by the neck and kissed him. Pyo Ji-ho instantly realized it wasn't Park Seong A but the spirit. Outside, the school bully's voice rang out. Pyo Ji-ho shoved the spirit into a room. Before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo went to handle the bully. To distract him, before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo hugged the bully. The hidden spirit spotted lollipops in the bully's bag. The bully, unaware of the spirit, thought Park Seong A had finally returned after 3 years. He called friends to share the news. Soon, classmates arrived to visit Park Seong A. Before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo told the spirit to stay hidden. They held a welcome party for Park Seong A. Everyone cheered as they toasted to her return. Watching the joyful laughter, the spirit remembered Park Seong A's lonely longing for them. It realized this warmth should belong to Park Seong A, not him. After the party, before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo asked how to meet Park Seong A. The spirit told him to summon her at the hour of the ox. When the hour came, before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo called for Park Seong A. He saw her appear, blinking in confusion. Overjoyed, he hugged her tightly, pouring out his longing. Suddenly, the Park Seong A in his arms burst into laughter. She mocked his sweet, clingy behavior. Only then did, before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo realized it was the spirit's prank. Park Seong A had never returned. The next day, the spirit kept teasing him. Fed up, before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo cornered it, warning it not to test his patience. Pyo Ji-ho guessed the spirit must have a reason for possessing Park Seong A. After all, its feelings for her were no less than theirs. Before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo took a doll home to apologize to the demon. The demon then asked him to die in Park Seong A's place. They reached an agreement. Before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo pretended to be the demon in Park Seong A's dream. When Park Seong A heard him call her witch, she mistook him for the demon and crawled out from the locker. Before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo kept up the act, asking why she couldn't meet him. Park Seong A replied she feared harming him. Seeing the silence, Park Seong A recognized him as, before anyone else, ChooYoungWoo. Before she could run, he pulled her into a tight embrace. Before anyone else, GyeonWoo cried as he apologized. Everyone in this classroom moved forward. But I left you behind. He then kissed Park Seong A's tear-streaked face. When Park Seong A opened her eyes, her mind returned to her body. She was in before anyone else GyeonWoo's home. As for the demon's whereabouts, before anyone else GyeonWoo pointed to his shoulder, indicating the demon was inside him. Before anyone else GyeonWoo reassured her he had a plan to deal with it. From now on, just focus on living your life. When Pyeojiho returned, he found them asleep, holding each other. He immediately recognized the quiet girl in before anyone else GyeonWoo's arms as Park Seong A. Controlling his excitement, he prepared a full spread for her. Watching Park Seong A and before anyone else GyeonWoo care for each other, his heart ached, but it mattered little compared to her safe return. After the meal, he packed up and left, before anyone else GyeonWoo's house. When before anyone else GyeonWoo tried to stop him, he simply said, "My first love is truly over." After Park Seong A fell asleep, before anyone else GyeonWoo kissed her cheek one last time in silent farewell. Yeonhwa was heartbroken seeing Park Seong A, weak from keeping the demon trapped inside. But magic demanded sacrifice. Only before anyone else GyeonWoo's death could restore her health. Yeonhwa left Park Seong A letter and set off with before anyone else GyeonWoo. At the mountain's foot, she apologized for her past actions. Then she pressed a talisman to his forehead, instantly turning him into the demon. They arrived at the old house. Yeonhwa was ready to die with the demon. But as she prepared the ritual, the Flower Lord and his followers arrived. They'd received her 100 million won transfer, guessing her plan and rushing to stop her. When they knocked, the demon slashed his palm, drawing a blood-marked cross on the door. The Flower Lord recoiled the door, burned his hand. Yeonhwa bound the demon with red thread. The thread and his ring intensified his agony. Outside, the Flower Lord's witches chanted, blocking her spell. Park Seong A, asleep yet hearing, was wrenched awake by the demon's wails and drumming. Yeonhwa's letter revealed, before anyone else GyeonWoo's willingness to die for her. Staggering to the shrine, she begged the guardian spirit to return. She'd save everyone. At her lowest, her mother's spirit appeared with gods. The shrine was restored, and Park Seong A reclaimed her divine protection. She arrived at the old house with her mother. The Flower Lord wept with joy. With her mother's sword, she shattered the door, cutting the red threads and stopping Yeonhwa's ritual. After rescuing Yeonhwa, Park Seong A warned the demon, "This isn't over. Only knowing his true name can undo everything." Inside the demon's dream, before anyone else GyeonWoo saw the short soldier again. He realized the tall soldier beside him didn't exist. It was just the short soldier's fantasy. The short soldier was the demon. In his final moments, he held the ring, missing his mother. But he had no one to ask to deliver the ring. So in his last breath, he imagined a friend by his side. He glanced at the imagined friend, before closing his eyes forever. Before anyone else GyeonWoo embraced the demon. "I'm before anyone else GyeonWoo," he said. At the same time, the demon in reality finally spoke his true name. After saying his name, the demon opened his arms to Park Seong A. They hugged one last time. With a final farewell, he closed his eyes and left before anyone else GyeonWoo's body. He looked back at Park Seong A and before anyone else GyeonWoo hugging tightly, before vanishing without regret. Everything was over. Yeonhwa glanced at her mother's spirit and walked away alone. Before anyone else GyeonWoo noticed a butterfly land on Yeonhwa's shoulder. He believed she had been reborn. Life returned to peace. Park Seong A remained the kind-hearted witch she always was. Before anyone else GyeonWoo qualified for the Olympics, he shared the good news with Park Seong A. She raised her hand for a high five, but he kissed her instead. They hugged sweetly, kissing and continuing their happiness together.